What's up, everybody? So tonight we are talking Mortal Kombat 2. So we'll get started with expectations. So being a big Mortal Kombat fan, my expectations for this movie is that they couldn't get any worse than the first one, but also just make it a Mortal Kombat movie. Just make it something we want to see. A lot of fighting, a lot of fatalities, some comedy. Just make a fun Mortal Kombat movie that the fans can enjoy. And that's I feel like this is what this movie was, and they delivered that.
So, my turn. Okay. Honestly, my expectations for this movie were like damn near non-existent. And it's not because of the franchise. I mean, I haven't played any of the Mortal Kombat games. I've only seen like gameplays of it. I didn't see the movie from the 90s. But I did see the movie from 2021. And if the cool kids were around during that time, that would have absolutely made my bottom 5 of that year because that movie sucked all kinds of ass. It had bland characters, terrible CGI, blank characters, terrible CGI. It was just not a good movie. So I was worried that this movie would be more of the same, and thankfully it wasn't. It turned out to be a fun time. Wasn't great, but I had a blast watching it.
So, I am probably the most unfamiliar with Mortal Kombat. Like, I know of it, I know some of the lore, I know the characters just from, like from what these guys have talked about it, what other friends of mine have talked about. I know a little bit, but I have not played a single game. I have not watched a single movie. I haven't even seen the first movie because everyone here said it sucked so much ass that I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to skip it. And because, like, it's Mortal Kombat. Do you really need that much fucking context for people beating each other up with fucking magic? Like, come on. This ain't The Godfather here, all right? This is Mortal Kombat, for fuck's sake. So I'm like, all right, I don't fucking need context for this. And it's like the last movie didn't have Carl Urban, so what's even the fucking point? So I was like, all right. And honestly, as someone who knew very little of the franchise, having not seen the movies, having known that the first one kind of sucked, when I saw the trailer for Mortal Kombat 2, I was like, oh, this looks pretty fucking awesome. I'd fucking watch the shit out of this. And then the next trailer was like even better. So I was like, all right, this is looking pretty fucking cool. So I was just looking at it as it looks like a cool fucking movie. And it was a pretty cool fucking movie. So that's pretty, I don't know a ton about the franchise. And I was just looking at it like, okay, I know a little bit. And then I'm like, I see the trailers and I'm like, this looks good. So I'll go watch it. And that's kind of it. The expectations were just as a movie that it looked cool, and that was kind of it. So, yeah, cool movie. Cool movie is cool, guys. So, hence, we are talking about it on The Cool Kids.
All right, I'll go first. As you know, I am Sub-Zero. I came back from the dead. All joking aside, I will say that a huge big fanatic like I am with like Sonic and Zelda and Pokemon and things like that. I did play a lot of Mortal Kombat, mainly within my high school, or not my high school, I can't speak. College years when I was playing Mortal Kombat 9 with a bunch of friends of mine. I really got into it. My two mains, Sub-Zero and the one I will talk about a little bit later. So because he is in this movie. I did play a bit more Kombat. I wasn't allowed to play it when it originally came out, mainly because like I was way too young to play it. My parents would have never ever allowed me to play something because that when that game came out, it got a lot of controversy. I mean, the ESRB ratings for video games exist because of Mortal Kombat, so I wouldn't have been allowed to play it. But I did play it like a lot older when I started like middle school, high school, college, things like that. So, and for my expectations, I did see the original movies back in the 90s. I did the 1995 movie. It was stupid, but it was at least fun. We don't talk about Annihilation because fuck that movie. And 2021, that movie sucked too, although nowhere near as bad as Annihilation, but I mean, that's beside the point. So for my expectations, I was really worried about it because I was honestly going to not even bother watching it and I said to myself that I will only actually, no, wait. I said to myself I would only watch it if a certain character gets killed off. And we'll talk more and we'll get to that later. But I was honestly worried, and then I saw the trailers. They looked cool. I'm not gonna lie, and hey, they got my other favorite combat character, which we'll get to later. So I was, and then the DC, and I was starting to become more. I was starting to become a little bit more, like okay, so I should be. Maybe I'm safe. We'll see how things go. So, and I do think it was it certainly had flaws. I still think it's a fun time. I'll go into more detail a little bit later. So, yeah. Mr. KitchenAid Whiskey Jones.
I hear you. Yeah, my expectations were, I agree, fairly low for this too. I mean, was just looking for an entertaining film. It definitely looked like it was going to be better. I mean, Carl Urban. They were finally bringing in Johnny Cage, which they should have done in the first film, But obviously, so I mean, Carl Urban. Yeah, I expected him to be good. Yeah, he was, of course. But so because he's good in everything, he's a really good actor, really solid. So he's always entertaining. So I expected this to be better, and so I was just honestly looking for a good time. Though, wasn't looking for a masterpiece like like John said. I mean, it's not the fucking Godfather's year. It's just Mortal Kombat. So we're just looking for a fun time. So that's all. Yes, you may continue.
So positives. Can we go into spoiler territory, or do we have to hold off on that still?
No,
we can go. No, we can go in.
Oil away.
Nice.
I mean, guys, this is a spoiler stream. Just know that if you watch our show, you know that we pretty much don't hold back with the spoilers. Just saying. So
nice. But yeah, the positives. I gotta say, Carl Urban's Johnny Cage performance. Lindy, who played Liu Kang. Excuse me. Lindy Len, who played Liu Kang. I thought he was much better in this than he was in the first movie. I thought Jessica McAmey was really good as Sonya Blade. Adeline Rudolph, who played Katana, surprisingly was really good in this too. Josh Lawson as Kano stole the show again with his performance as being funny, comedic, and just the comedy stuff with Quan Chi was pretty funny. Also, the actor who plays Shao Kahn was pretty good too. Can you guys hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool.
So we can hear you. Just don't forget to change the banner.
Oh, da-da-da. I was super excited to just talk about this movie. Other than those performances, the action was good. It was really, you could say this is a true fun popcorn movie. Like, if you want a fun popcorn movie, this is what it brings. A lot of good fight scenes I enjoyed. Some weren't not all of them were perfect, but they were just fun. Like the stuff with Rock and Johnny Cage, that was pretty fun. I thought the fight with Shao Kahn versus Katana, Liu Kang, and the other some of the other Defenders of the Realm fighters, that was pretty cool. Where's that noise coming from?
That's the kitty. He's purring.
No,
hold up.
You're good, Mark. I like the opening with Katana and her introduction. I really like that this was like a co-starring movie between Katana and Johnny Cage. I really love those two. Were really the focus point of this movie. Just to get the characters right too. I mean, I felt like every character from the video game, you felt like you were watching them live. All of them were phenomenal in this. Not everyone was great from performance-wise, but the people that I mentioned were all great. And some of my favorite stuff, I got to say, is just Johnny Cage punching Barack in the nuts. obviously the biggest one is Shao Kahn taking a hammer and slamming on Cole Young's face. Myself, my cousin, we were just cheering. The theater was cheering. We all clapped and everything. It was just a, great moment. Once they did that, this movie just went up, way up in terms of like score and everything. The director and the writer really respond to what the fans were criticizing the first movie. They made it very clear, once they got rid of Cole Young, everything was more focused on Liu Kang, Katana, Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, the Defenders of the Realm, and what are they going to do with Mortal? What do they do next after he was gone? It just felt more like a Mortal Kombat movie from beginning to the end. I mean, I think the other fight that I like was the Scorpion Noob Saibot fight. Even though it was very short, we got something with that. Hanzo Scorpion, the little stuff with Johnny Cage and Kano. I think that was one thing fans like myself were looking for to see how Josh Lawton's Kano and Carl Johnny Cage was going to kind of connect and how that was going to be. That was pretty fun. I really, really love their dynamic to a certain degree. We'd love to see more of that. We got another fight with Kung Lao and Liu Kang, which was really fun. Like I said, this is a pure action movie. This is what you want. You got some good fatalities. I like the one with Kung Lao and Liu Kang with the hat and how it turned to a chainsaw. That was pretty fun. Shao Kahn just stabbing Katana's father in the beginning. That whole scene was just phenomenal, like just perfect. It was just set it up of what you were going to get, and a lot of stuff in this movie felt earned. The stuff with the Katana, Shao Kahn, the stuff with Johnny Cage finding, I guess, perspective. I kept thinking purpose, but perspective, and these are two characters that just had to find their place in the in this world, and I thought they did a great job, really building a little bit of Outworld, a little bit of Katana's world. We really didn't spend any time on Earth, which I was happy with. We really got more of what was going on in Mortal Kombat. This was very fleshed out by the writer and the director. I thought they did a phenomenal job. I can go on and on about positives, but Devin, it's your turn.
So when it comes to my positives, for one, I thought the acting for the most part was really good. I really liked Carl Urban as Johnny Cage. He's a very likable, funny, character. Although I will admit, you do hear his accent slip in and out, and I will admit that was a little distracting. He still did a really good job. I thought the characters here were a lot more fun, and more improved than the first one. I thought I loved Katana, Sonya Blade, Liu Kang, Noob Saibot, Scorpion, Kung Lao. I thought the villain, Shao Kahn was pretty badass. He looked awesome. He was actually, I found him to be a genuine threat. Like, honestly, I can't even tell you who the villain was in the first movie. I thought the action scene. Oh, Sub-Zero. Like I said, dude, I barely remember. I barely remember anything from that movie. Action scenes were a lot of fun and were greatly improved. Like Rome said, it was awesome seeing Mr. Boring Cole Young get his face smashed in. No disrespect to Louis Tang. I mean, he did get his redemption when he played Sensei Dragon in Cobra Kai. But that's more just Warner Brothers being stupid. Like, hey, let's create a new character to have someone for the audience to relate to. So I think it was also that they actually killed him off, and how he went from being the main character in the first movie to only having like 3 fucking minutes of screen time in the sequel. I thought that was awesome. For the most part, the effects were pretty good. Outside of some CGI blood, it looked a lot better than the first one. The fight scene, one of my favorite fight scenes of the movie was the fight between Liu Kang and Kung Lao. Seeing him use his hat as like the fucking saw and how it like caught on fire and it was like flying around the room. That was fucking dope. I loved that. The pacing for outside of something I'll get into in the beginning, yeah, it was, it wasn't too bad. It did feel like its runtime. Not once was I bored watching it. And of course, there's some great moments, that would love, that will get the fans riled up. It was fucking awesome hearing Scorpion say "Get over here," like a badass. That was great. Uh, but yeah, I'd say those are like my main positives. Oh, and Baraka was fucking hilarious.
So for me, there was a lot of positives. I thought all the actors did a reasonably good job. Treating the source material like seriously enough. Yeah, sure, you do have some quirks with Johnny Cage and Kano, but I like how this was played a little. I liked how this was played more straight than fucking like Marvel quipping like, "Oh, hey, isn't this fucking like that kind of like thing?" Yeah, sure. It like Johnny Cage is like kind of like this outside character audience surrogate, but not everybody fucking acts like that, Like I like how it's Johnny Cage. He's him and then Kano doesn't give a fuck. Like that's I like that. It's not like, where the MCU was like everyone acts like Iron Man because, that movie was successful. It's the characters treat this silly idea very seriously with a couple characters that are kind of out of like the, for lack of a better term, realm of this reality. So I liked that a lot. Um, I really liked the fight choreography. Some of it was like a tiny bit awkward, but like nothing like bad, not even worth like a mixed or a negative. I Carl Urban, the man is always good, like no matter whether it's like the best of the best or the worst of the worst, he can always deliver a good performance, and it's nice that he has redeemed himself in terms of video game adaptations because ugh, Doom is we don't talk about that. But so that was good. Luke Liu Kang was good. Sonya Blade was good. I liked Makad Brooks as Jax. Um, I liked Katana. I liked Jade. Kano was fucking hilarious. That dude was awesome. Although I will say it's kind of funny how Josh Lawson was able to use his native accent, yet Carl Urban couldn't. So that was funny. But yeah, I really liked him. And then it was nice to see um it was, oh, what's his name? Oh, I'm forgetting his name. But the guy who played Scorpion, he's in fucking Shogun. I forget the actor's name, but really Hiroyuki Sanada. That's who it is. Great fucking tremendous actor. I like how they didn't like try to do a lot like they didn't like try to resurrect him or anything. He just like, okay, he was in the nether realm. They needed him for something. We got some like him versus Sub-Zero stuff, which was great. Um, I really also liked the design of Sub-Zero, like he's all like crispy, burned, and fucked up. I really liked that. Like all of the settings, they were so like it was one of those things where it's like clearly this is like a level from the game that they're recreating in live action, but like it doesn't come off as weird or silly. It's just like, oh, it's just this is presenting its world, and here it is, and I liked that as well. Like it's just here's the setting and it's just like, okay, we're not going to stray away from that setting. Here it is, and I really liked that. Most of the CGI was good. Most of the effects were good. The makeup for the most part was good. I liked from what little plot there was. I like how you did have that plot that strung everything together. And then yeah, obviously the fight scenes were the best part. But yeah, overall, very fun. It was nice hearing the original Mortal Kombat theme in the credits. I almost wanted to stay for the credits because I wanted to hear that song again, cuz like that was like the best thing the original movie gave us was that fucking song. So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, I had a blast with this. A lot of fun. I have like a couple mixed, but like for the most part, mainly positives. And again, I had no context for Cole Young. I didn't know how much of an annoying prick he was because I haven't seen the first one. But it was still nice to see him die because I just know how everyone else fucking hates him. And I just loved how fucking absolutely and unnecessarily brutal his fucking death was. So I'm like, all right, cool, great. It would be funny if like Jeremy Slater, because I don't think he wrote the first one. It would be funny if like he watched the first one, he's like, oh, this guy's dog shit. And that's like the first thing he wrote was his death scene. And he's like, okay, we got to build an entire movie about this motherfucking cocksucker finally dying in the most horrific way possible. We are gonna behead the dude with a hammer and dunk his ass in fucking poison fucking acid. Cool. All right, now we have to build a movie around that. But yeah, like I really liked yeah, as Devin said, the between Liu Kang and Kung Lao, that was a really good like it just the fucking portal in the background. I'm like, this is fucking cool, man. I really like that. So yeah, for the most part, positives. Anyway, I've been talking too long. Up to Sub-Zero to give his review.
All right. So for my positives, the acting all around is really is well done. You know, Carl Urban, he plays the character of Johnny Cage. You know, it seems like he was like almost like born to play. You know, because he does really well with the character. You know, he does well with and he was even really funny too. You know, the action was a lot of fun. You know, I mean, it's always nice to see certain characters do certain moves, you know, like where Johnny Cage does his iconic nut punch move, you know. That was really funny, you know. There is something about it I will get into more of my mixed on, but with Johnny Cage, but I will say that there is, but I do like what they did with him, you know. And everyone else, they do a really good job. The CGI was well done for the most part. However, there were a little bit of wonky parts here and there. Like with like there was a scene where like at the end where they're fighting in hell, and then Johnny Cage is like tossed around, and honestly, you can tell it just does not look right, you know, because when he's like thrown around, and that's just in a few bits, you know. But I mean, for the most part, it was well done, you know, miles better than what we got in the first one, at least. The and I do like some of the elements they do go with, you know, like it. I do like how they pretty much tie in with how Katana, her whole at the beginning, her whole village, and her family, she was part of royalty, got pretty much conquered by Shao Kahn, you know, and she was the one to pretty much rise up, you know, and I especially like at the end where he's like, I'm going to, we have conquered Earth Realm. And then she's like, no, there's one other. And she switches sides, you know, that was her, and her fights were pretty badass, you know. And the fights they do, like I said, they do represent like the games and all. They are gory, you know. As much as I have fun with the 1995 movie, I would have liked it to be like rated R instead of PG-13. Maybe see a little bit of blood. I mean, that didn't kill the movie for me. I still think it's fun on its own, but I feel like this is honestly what we would be. This is honestly more of what we're looking for in a Mortal Kombat movie. You know, some and yeah, that's about it. I do like just the dynamic. I do like the fight with Liu Kang and Kung Lao. I do like and of course you got to talk about my boy, you know, Noob Saibot. Noob Saibot is my favorite. What do you mean? Sorry, I just looked in the private chat.
You just went a little. We were like, your video kind of fucked up.
Okay. But when I said it should have been rated R, I was talking about the 1995 movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was talking because that was
I
rated
must have
PG-13.
disassociated for a bit. My bad.
My bad.
So the 95 movie was kind of more of a PG, maybe a close PG-13. It wasn't.
It was like a PG-13. It was Mortal Kombat without the blood, so kind of thing. I mean, I still had fun with that one, but I mean, this is like I said, this is what you're looking forward to in a Mortal Kombat movie. And I do like I do like a lot of things they're setting up. Of course, thank God they killed off Cool Young. Honestly, I remember like being in the theater, and then once you saw Shao Kahn take his big hammer and just smashes his head in, I'm just like, fuck yeah, yes, fuck that guy. Because there may be a few fans of Cool Young, but I've never met anyone, because everyone I know pretty much hates the guy. Because critics hate a Cool Young in the first one because he's a boring character, and Mortal Kombat fans hate him even more because not only is he a boring character, he's not even a character in the games. And it was only Warner Brothers' dumbass decision to say, like, oh yeah, we're gonna make a character that's relatable, even though Johnny Cage is right fucking there. So, but anyway, I'm glad to see him get killed off. It does lead me to one thing, because so they also have Quan Chi in the movie, and Quan Chi does really well. It kind of has me a little worried about the next one, because if you know Mortal Kombat lore, he's the necromancer. He's the one that can bring people back from the dead. So let's hope to God that in the next one, Cool Young stays dead, because we don't want that guy. And I'm trying to think here what else there. The soundtrack was really awesome. I wish we had got to hear the Mortal Kombat theme a little bit more in the film, other than just being put in like the end credits. Maybe a little bit more. That's probably more of a nitpick than anything. And like I said, Noob Saibot, my main, because I think I brought this up while I was talking about it, and then I got distracted by. He is so badass. I wish I got to see him a little bit more, but you know what? I get it. And yeah, he was Noob Saibot was created because he was originally Bi-Han in the games, and he was like the shadowy version of Sub-Zero after Sub-Zero got killed by Scorpion. So I'm rambling. I'm sorry. So if I have any other positives, I'll let you know. So, but I'll pass it on to Mr. Whiskey Jones.
All right, well, let's start with the biggest one of all. Cole Young dies, so we know that. And in brutal fashion, I actually cheered and literally yelled out, fuck yeah, when he died. I was so fucking happy. I was sitting beside a couple of guys, they hate him just as much as I did. Jeez. At one point, when he first appeared, I literally looked over that and said, can they please just kill his ass, please? I mean, they were just laughing about that, so, but yeah, Cole Young dies, and literally and figuratively, because he was really just kind of there, and they got rid of him very quickly. So he was just forgotten about, fortunately. So, and Johnny Cage really quickly took his place, which it should have been him from the beginning anyway. And this really felt like almost like a reset, as if they just kind of sort of ignored as much as they could of the first film, and just. It's like, okay, this is what it should have been from the beginning, from the first place. So this was it feels like Mortal Kombat. The first movie did not feel like Mortal Kombat, so it felt like Mortal Kombat was almost like the actual Mortal Kombat part was almost like a sideshow in the first film. But this one was really built around Mortal Kombat, more like the original film. So, and I loved the action was absolutely fantastic. The finishers and everything, the fighting was just felt like it was pulled straight from the games. So, and it was really, really, really satisfying. All the blood and gore and everything. I mean, this felt like a Mortal Kombat film, so, the acting, Carl Urban, of course, was just as fantastic as I knew he would be. He was great. Adeline Rudolph as Katana. She was good. Martin Ford as Shao Kahn. He was actually really, really brutal. Even Chen Han as Shang Tsung seems to have more, I guess, more settled into the role. Now he felt more sinister in this one, kind of working for his own ends, so he felt a lot more sinister in this one. So, so maybe having Shao Kahn above him kind of settled it in a more appropriate place for him. So, Hiroyuki Sanada, you can never say enough about that dude. Fantastic actor. He's great, of course, as Scorpion. Johan Taslim as Bihan, as this guy right here. Noob Saibot, another positive. Noob Saibot, fantastic. Bringing him back as Noob Saibot. And again, that goes back to the fighting. The fighting was fucking fantastic in this. So it felt really, really great to see. And the acting was a lot better in this. So not perfect, but I mean, it was a lot better. So it's just really great all around, and the soundtrack too. And I did hear the original song scattered in throughout there somewhere, especially during the fight scenes and stuff. I heard it in there. Like little twisted a little bit, did their own kind of thing with it, but I still heard it in there. So I mean, it felt like a much, much more satisfying experience there. So this really felt like a video game come to life as it should have been. So yeah, so that's my positives. So it was just a great experience overall.
So for mixes, the only mix I have is that the reveal that Katana's Mortal Kombat champion defeating Shao Kahn. In the video games, Liu Kang's the one who's the chosen one, who's Mortal Kombat champion. In the first two video games, he beats and kills Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat 2 and becomes two-time Mortal Kombat champion. So the big twist of that is that Liu Kang was not the one who's defeated Shao Kahn and saved the day and becomes Mortal Kombat champion. I wasn't too mixed on it. It made sense for the story because the beginning it really followed Katana, her story. I know the video games and the '95 movie, Katana was doing the same thing, being double agent for Shao Kahn and for Raiden, but used Liu Kang to be the one to get revenge back to Shao Kahn for what he did to her family, her world, and everything. But with this, it's like, why hide behind Liu Kang when you can fight against him and fight him in Mortal Kombat as well? So I had no issue with it, but I know some fans out there, some fans might have some issues with her being the Mortal Kombat champion over Liu Kang. I also think that's part of the reason why when they killed off Liu Kang, it was kind of a shock to me. I was like, oh shoot, they killed him off. But this is part where I felt like the movie got a little meta, where it's Liu Kang saying, I'm not the chosen one to defeat Shao Kahn, but I'll be back. So I think that's him telling the fans, like, who thought Liu Kang was going to be the one to save the day and defeat Shao Kahn. So let people know, hey, I'll be back for the third one. Don't worry, I'm not completely dead. That's the only mix I had for mixes, to be honest with you.
I guess I said what my mix was when I was talking about my positives, mainly just like how like you hear Carl Urban's accent like slip in and out, and so a little wonky CGI here and there, like with some green screen, like with the blood. I guess like those are mine.
For me, I agree. Some of the green screen, mainly at Raiden's temple, or whatever. The green screen was very, very obvious, and was a little distracting. There were a couple, maybe a couple cringy jokes, not a lot, but like one or two. I felt the pacing was a bit too brisk. I understand like it's mainly about fighting, so that's why it's not like a major negative, but like maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4 more minutes just to like kind of like 5 minutes to kind of like pad some things out. So there was that. And I don't some of the fight choreography at times was a little clunky, but for the most part everything else was fine. Like I don't have like, because the thing is I was going in expecting a fighting game turned into a movie. And that's literally what I got. That's what I'm going to expect with the Street Fighter movie coming out in October. Like, I'm expecting a stupid, silly fighting game being turned into a movie. That's exactly what I got. And I had a lot of fun with it. But the thing is, what makes it good, as opposed to a lot of other, like, kind of tongue-in-cheek, like, crap out there, Taika Waititi's, I'm looking at you, is that it's earnest, and like you can clearly tell the people behind it give a shit about the things they're writing about and acting in, and like it feels like it's earnest. Like, it feels like they're taking it seriously to the point of like creating like an earnest product, but also having some fun considering the source material. And I think that's a good balance of everything going on, and what made a lot of fans of the original movie really like that movie. It's just this one has more blood, mainly from Cole Young's head. But yeah, so the mix were like some technological stuff, but like nothing that's like major, because it's like, oh, it doesn't have much of a plot. Yeah, neither did the fucking original games either. Like, it's just people beating each other up. Yeah. So yeah, a couple CGI pacing little bits here and there, but nothing crazy. I don't even have any major negatives. So yeah. Sub-Zero, you're up. Get
All right.
over there.
Get over here. Actually, funny enough is that I made that joke.
Wrong character, I know, but
I know that's Scorpion, but funny enough is that I made that joke when Mark decided to see it. You know, it's like Scorpion was harpooning him and telling him to get over here to the theater.
True.
Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So for my mix, I pretty much mentioned some of them already. You know, like I said, even though I did say the CGI was well done, there were moments where it did look very off. You know, like I said, and there was the green screen. There was, I felt like some characters probably could have used a little bit more screen time. That may be more of a nitpick than anything, you know. I would have liked to see a little bit more of a Noob Saibot, but I mean, I get it. You know, he's not like he's one of the bad guys in the games. You know, he's like one of the villain's assistant kind of thing. You know, and I mean, but I would have liked to see a little bit more of him, but I mean, I get it. So, and like I said, other characters probably could have used a little bit more screen time. We probably could. I felt like even though Baraka, he was really. I forgot to mention Baraka in my positives. He was really funny, and I do like the fight between him and Johnny Cage. I felt like he was I don't know if this is considered mixed or negative, but I felt like he could have been a little bit more used well, you know, because I felt like he felt a little underutilized after that fight, because he like shows them, hey, this is the way to the temple. He disappears. You don't see him until after the fight's over. You know, I felt like you probably could have used him a little bit more, like in the final fight, kind of thing. So, but I mean, that's yeah. Thank you, Joey. And yeah, that's probably what I have. If I have any more mix, I'll let you know.
My main mix, I don't have a whole lot of mix. Part of it, one of it was Carl Urban. You know, he could tell his accent kept slipping. I don't know why they didn't just let. Maybe they just didn't want two characters with, you know, kind of New Zealand, Australian accent. But I don't know why not. But I mean, I think it would have been more natural for him to have it. I think some of that sarcasm sounded a lot better than that New Zealand accent of his. But you know, you could tell he kind of slipped out of his accent, which is kind of strange because I mean, I didn't notice that at least I didn't notice it in Star Trek there. Maybe because he was kind of trying to more or less imitate DeForest Kelly's voice from, you know, the original, but I don't know. But either way, I mean, that that, and some of the acting was kind of iffy, you know, not all of it. I mean, like Mekad Brooks, he was really good for the most part. Jessica as Jax, Jessica McNamee as Sonya Blade was good for the most part. But there were times they kind of slept. It's like, some lines, you know. But I mean, but again, I call it more of a mix than a negative because you kind of expect some of that like this, you know. I mean, it's kind of it's really an over the top kind of just fun fest anyway. So I mean, you don't expect, you know, it kind of suits the tone of the film, even, you know.
Exactly. Also, speaking of, I did forget to mention some of the dialogue, not great. But again, I kind of forgot about it because it's like this is a cheesy product from the 90s. Of course, it's gonna have some cheesy dialogue. So that's why I'm like, I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
Yeah, and the dialogue really kind of suits the dialogue from the anyway. You know?
And hey, it's a million times better dialogue than what we got in Annihilation.
I agree.
Too bad you
will die. But yeah.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it for the negative. I mean, I guess you could throw in some of the CGI was kind of iffy, but I mean, I actually thought the CGI was kind of decent, though. I mean, you know, again, it kind of suits it because it is a video game movie. So I mean, it kind of sort of suits it, you know. So I mean, I thought for what it was, actually did pretty good with it. So, but yeah, those are pretty much my mixes, though.
So next is negatives. The only negatives I got on this movie would be what we talked about, the CGI, the green screens. There was a quick blink if you missed it moment with the actor who played Baraka, where you can see the actor's mouth within the Baraka's teeth. Like a quick blink if you missed it moment, which I caught. I was like, oof. I think the fight with Johnny Cage and Baraka, despite how funny and cool, how funny it was and entertaining, there were some kind of sloppy moments with it. You know, and I gotta say, Quan Chi's look was just horrible in this movie. I mean, thank God for Josh Lawson's Kano, who just acknowledged how bad he looked, like calling him, you know, Pennywise, and Lord Voldemort's nutsack. That was pretty funny. That was a good laugh. I mean, I felt like that was very, like, the cast and everybody knew how ridiculous he looked. They're like, let's put this in the script with Kano just rashing on him the entire time he sees him. That really helped, just acknowledging that how bad he looked. I think those are my only two negatives I had about the movie. Everything else, like John said, like some of you guys have said, the cheesy dialogue, but that's expected in a video game movie like this.
Yeah.
So when it comes to my negatives, even though I said, like, I mean, yeah, like the movie, you know, felt like its runtime, you know, wasn't boring. I felt the pacing in the first act was a little rushed. Like, I would have liked to have known a little bit more about Johnny's character before they take him to fight in the tournament. We get like the brief, like, you know, he's an old action star. He's not as popular as he used to be. And then he's taken to the tournament. Like, I would have liked to have gotten the chance to know his character a little bit more. So I felt that was like a little bit rushed. And the other thing, and my other negative, I'm sure everyone here is going to disagree with me on this, because this is the negative I had with the first movie. Kano, I found Kano just as annoying in this movie as I did in the first one. Again, mind you, I've never played the games. I don't know if this is how he's like, but just like the first one, I didn't find him funny. I just found him just fucking insufferable. And I just wanted him to shut up. He would not shut up.
So, Devin, in the video games, he's not this annoying. He's not this annoying. This is just in the movies. Because he was perceived really well in the first movie, they continued with how he was.
Yeah, they doubled down. Yeah, I found him just as insufferable as he was in the first one, and I was really hoping he would stay dead. But can't have nice things, apparently. Those are like my big negatives with it.
I will say, if I had any negatives, you know, great great movie, but here's the thing. With all these Mortal Kombat characters in this movie, I expected some more. Where was the Terminator? Where was Rambo? What
Where
about
was-
RoboCop?
Where was,
What about
where was Freddy?
Peacemaker? Come on. You got
What about
those
Freddy?
Ninja Turtles.
Wait. Where's Freddy Krueger?
Where's
Don't
Freddy
forget
Krueger?
Homeland.
Come on now.
Yeah, because Freddy Krueger was a DLC character in Mortal Kombat 9.
And
kidding
Where's
aside.
Homelander too. He was.
And don't forget.
Oh, sorry, go on.
And don't forget, guys. Warner Brothers does own New Line, so they could have had Freddy in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but like, I don't have any real negatives. It's just like, I love how Mortal Kombat is now known for having other characters that don't belong in the franchise in their games rather than the actual characters. So I wanted to point that out. I thought it was funny, but no, I don't have any actual negatives.
All right. So in terms of my negatives, there are a few. So I do think we probably could have. There were a couple. I do agree with some of the Devin's points. Could have known a little bit more of Johnny Cage's backstory. Before we got to the tournament, we could have. And I did find. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I agree. Kano was pretty annoying. So I'm not gonna lie. And I mean, and like I said, I felt like Baraka was while really well done. I felt like was underutilized in the third act. So I felt like you probably honestly, it's like after the second act, he disappears until like after the tournament's over. I felt like you could have used him a little bit more. Maybe he goes to hell and fights Noob Saibot. Because Noob Saibot, he can clone himself. He can make multiple clones of himself. So they pretty much like fighting a different clone. So, but that's all right. But I think that's like it. So I think that's usually like it. So
I don't have a lot of outright huge negatives. I mean, I guess you could say, the somewhat cheesy dialogue, but again, it kind of suits the film. So the acting, but some of the acting I said, but although this acting was a whole lot better, so I can't really fault it. I guess the fact that Cole Young was there, even what little bit he was in, but the fact that he got killed in such a brutal manner, fairly early in the film, that I'd say that definitely made up for it. So, but yeah, so I guess my only real negative is that this wasn't the first film to begin with. This is what it really should have been.
One more thing I forgot to say when I mixed. I felt like speaking of being underutilized, I felt like you probably. I think that's actually more I think about it. It's probably more of a negative. It seems like they wasted Sindel. They probably could have used a little. I mean, there's a fight with her and Katana, or no, it's with her and
Sonya Blade.
Sonya Blade. My bad. I felt like you could have used her a little bit more, but that's probably more mixed. I don't know.
You know what? But they had so many characters in that. There's no way they were going to get a whole lot for each one of them.
Yeah.
Sonya Blade, she kind of falls off the map really after that fight with Sindel. Really great fight with Sindel, but then she kind of. But I mean,
they're probably. Yeah, I mean, I get you don't want to overload with too many characters and all, and like I said, it's probably more of a nitpick than anything. I'll give you that. It's probably more of a nitpick, but maybe could have seen her like a little bit more. But I mean, that's it. So, like I said, it's probably more of a nitpick than anything.
Even though I am proudly a Cole Young hater, I can understand this. From his perspective, I can understand.
I get that too, but this, again, fans were pissed at the corporate like Warner Brothers interfering with a movie, putting their created own character and a franchise like this. That's why fans like myself.
Honestly, I remember watching Cody Leach's review, and he said that was like a big negative of his too, because I think he's one of the few people that didn't hate Cole Young in the first one. But he said he hated how like he was he was like how he was handled in this. So
yeah, he felt like they shoehorned him in there. But I mean, it's I'll save the rest of what I was going to say for the thing. But I mean, that's pretty much my negatives, though. So I mean, for most part, it was a really, really positive experience. Honestly, I mean, I guess because one negative you could say is there were almost too many characters, especially so many new characters. But I mean. I thought they did as well as they could, kind of balancing it,
And also, like, death means nothing in this universe, apparently. But
Yeah.
like,
That's correct. Yeah.
again, I
That's
don't
why
mind.
they
It's like
talked
the
at
whole
end
thing.
of the
It's
movie,
like
yeah.
it's kind of like the idea of like almost bringing in a video game mechanic of respawning into like a movie world. So like, again, I didn't mind it, but like. It's also like there's the idea of like people make fun of the MCU and comic book movies for doing the exact same thing, yet this gets a free pass. It's like I can understand like if people have major qualms with that as well.
it kind of, bringing people, resurrecting people, like I said, that's pretty much like Quan Chi's thing. And since he's in this movie, that they're going to bring certain characters. That's honestly kind of why it worries me a little bit in the next one, because please kill, keep Cool Young dead. Don't, Quan Chi, please don't resurrect that asshole.
No, I don't think they will. They made
No,
it
I liked how they used it in this one, though, because I mean, I thought it was a really nice touch bringing back Kung Lao, and having him and as the zombie or whatever they called him, Revenant or whatever they called him, and
thanks, Travis Mitchell.
Yeah, so but I mean, having him fight Liu Kang, I really like that. So I mean. And that fight between them was really fucking epic. So I mean,
yeah, it was.
But besides, in this, the deaths aren't played for sympathy the way they are in like the MCU and stuff. So I mean, in the MCU they're played for sympathy, and when you're playing a death for sympathy, but they're going to come back. I mean, it's different. I mean, there is a way to do it and do it right, but I mean,
right.
So it's a little different. This one, it's just a silly thing.
In the video games, like after I think Mortal Kombat 3, 4, and Deadly Alliance, they realized they killed off too many characters, so they ended up bringing them all back in other, 7, 8, 9, and all that stuff. But they brought them back in different ways and things like that. So they're probably gonna do the same thing.
In Mortal Kombat 9, they pretty much like combined the original 3 games into one and gave it a story.
Yeah, they rebooted the whole thing.
Exactly.
Which I'm fine with. They definitely open up multiverses and things like that in the video game. So
exactly,
anything's possible.
I'm hoping they get more into Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 lore. Like I was talking to the guys I was sitting behind, I really want to see Luke. I think they felt like they kind of teased it, Liu Kang becoming a god.
Yeah, that's what they're alluding to when he was talking to the audience. Because he already has a dragon power and everything.
He does.
He's technically still a chosen one. He just didn't kill Shao Kahn. I guess
were you Mark? I'm just kind of curious, but were you ever like into like the games back in the heyday?
I played it some, I mean, I sucked at it, but I mean, I still played it, so I mean, Jax played, God, he played 7, 8, 9, he played 1, 9, 10, and 11. I know he played 1. I don't know if he played 7 and 8, but I mean, he definitely played 9, 10, 11 a lot. I mean, he loves Noob Saibot. I mean, like I told him, it was in the film. He said, "Yeah, I know." He was in the trailer, but I mean, he's like, "Yeah, Noob Saibot is a badass." I said, "Yeah, you'll love him because he's a badass in this film too." So,
up, down, up. Just do that every time, and you'll be able to win every match.
The best thing about this film is that I said the first film, and I said to the guys I was sitting beside, the first film, you had a great story there at the beginning and the end between Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and that felt like it should have focused on their story, the first film. So it's like you had a bad film bookended by a good film. But this film really feels like a good film bookended by a good film, and it begins and ends with with Katana's story, as it should.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought the ending was appropriate that way. It should have ended with her as the champion, restoring her rightful place as the queen, so, but yeah, taking her on her father's mantle. So, I mean, in the words of Stephen King from the Dark Tower, she has not forgotten the face of her father.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So for final thoughts, I would say I kind of wish 10 more minutes could have been added to the Act 3, especially when there was a lot going on with Johnny Cage, Kano trying to get the Sheena medallion, and Scorpion knew to say about fighting. It could have been a little spread out. Give it a couple more 5-10 minutes to really clear that up, because there was just so much going on in that last 20 minutes with their fights, Katana and Shao Kahn, and there's so much going on back and forth. Maybe give it 10 minutes to really spread things out a little bit more easier. Other than that, I mean, this is a good movie. I really enjoyed it. I thought I don't think it's I think 95 still a tick better because 95 added more stuff to the video games because that movie made a serious impact, on pop culture back then. So but yeah, go watch this movie. It's a great movie.
I have to add one. I forgot about one major negative that I had, and that was the sound design. Some of the sound design was bad, especially at the beginning because it was hard to understand what the hell they were saying at time.
I think Shao Kahn was the one that had a hard time saying. The other final thought I would add, I kind of wish Shao Kahn said flawless victory after he threw Cole Young in the freaking chemicals.
Yeah.
That would have been freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Devin.
Your turn.
Yep, my bad. Long shift. My final thoughts on the movie. While not great, not my favorite video game movie, this was a huge, significant improvement over the god-awful first movie. The creators of this movie listened to the fans, they listened to the criticisms to deliver a better product, and I think for the most part, it worked out. Like I said, I don't think it's amazing. There's some things that could have been better, but overall, it's a fun time. I think fans of the games will love it. I think casuals will get a kick out of it. And I'd say, check it out at a matinee, and I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
Oh, we're doing scores too?
We usually combine final thoughts and grades.
Oh, okay. I forgot that. So my score is 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
I don't think it's as good. I mean, 95 Mortal Kombat is still a tick better because of just the impact that movie had and how it expanded to so many different things after the 95 movie came out. But this is just as good as the 95 movie. Go watch it. And then here's Devin's score.
All right. So for me, it as a filthy casual, as the gamers would say, who only knows a little bit of lore. I've seen bits and pieces from the 95 movie. I've seen a little bit from the 2021 movie. I haven't seen any of the animated movies either. I heard some of those were pretty good. But I know a little bit about the lore, not a ton, but I heavily enjoyed this movie as a fun time. It didn't go into ridiculous stupidity like a Thor Ragnarok would, but it's not top tier fantasy action like Excalibur is probably the high bar of fantasy action for me. Sillier fantasy action.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings, that's too serious. I mean more fantastical fantasy rather than grounded fantasy, but it does have some technical negatives, pacing, maybe a little bit of acting, a little bit of dialogue, a little green screen, but nothing that hampers the experience majorly. I had a ton of fun. I think even the plot was okay. Fight scenes were amazing, and it was a good fun time. So if I were to give it a score, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was damn good, even as someone who doesn't understand. So it just goes to show that even fans and non-fans can go see this and enjoy it.
Did you put it? Okay, there we go. All right, so for me, my final thoughts. I actually had, despite my issues, with some characters not being underutilized, and some wonky CGI here and there. I honestly had fun with this movie. This movie is a big improvement over the first one. I'm glad that they listened to the fans. We honestly, we need more video game adaptations like this and the Sonic movies, where where the people behind it, they listen to the fans, they listen to the criticism, find out what didn't work, and pretty much improve on it. I'm glad we were able to see with this, and we saw with Sonic with that first god awful trailer we got in the first one, and we got it with this one. So I'm really I had fun with it. I would say this was like maybe on par with the 1995 one. Like I have some, like the 1995 one is stupid, but that had problems too. But I still had fun with it. I would pretty much put it on the same level. So I'm glad that we got honestly, I'm glad we got a good live action Mortal Kombat movie, because we haven't had that since 1995, because the last two were just awful. But if you're a big Mortal Kombat fan, I'm pretty sure you're going to see this anyway, regardless of whether we recommend it or not. So I would absolutely go see it. You'll get a kick out of it. And my score is a 7.5 out of 10. Maybe not a flawless victory, but it's still a victory nonetheless.
Definitely, and I agree. I mean, I think I pretty much said my piece. I mean, it's the first movie felt like you had a bad movie bookended by a good movie with that largely unexplored or underexplored rather story between Scorpion and Sub-Zero, which felt like it should have been expanded to a film. Would have been nice to see that, maybe as say make that the first film, been a prequel. But this one felt like a much more complete movie. You have an actual storyline. They stuck with it the whole way through. They didn't just they stuck with it the whole way through. This was much more competently made. This is probably I struggled between going back and forth between 8 and 7.5. I ultimately went with 7.5 out of 10. It's probably not technically an 8, but I mean in terms of fun, it definitely would. I'll stick with the 7.5 out of 10. So 7.5 out of 10. I would say this is on par with the 95 movie, because I mean it's still it may be flawed, but I mean it's so much overwhelming fun. You're just sitting there geeking out the whole time watching it. So it's just a lot of fun.
So what do we have next for our next review that's coming up? Is it Michael Jackson?
Maybe it's either going to be. I know that we said that. I know the Michael review is like a few weeks late. We apologize, but Jay is seeing it this weekend, so maybe we might do it tomorrow. I don't know. If not, it will probably be sometime during the week. But if it's not Michael, then I'm pretty sure somebody wants to announce the next one, because he will not shut up about it.
Fuck off.
Go
But
ahead, David.
anyway, if it's not Michael, then it will be one of my most anticipated horror movies of the year, Curry Barker's Obsession.
Seriously, yes.
Comes out this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I'm seeing it early.
Right.
I can't fucking wait. So it's either Michael Jamon or Obsession.
Yeah. But that Michael review is going to come out, so we just don't want to do without Jay.
And we're going to hit you with a hee.
But I guess that's it. I mean, catch us tomorrow on Storm Nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll be
Yep.
Storm Nation tomorrow at 9.
Well, not Mark. He doesn't give a fuck about that.
I know. But that's going to do it for us. Thank you all for watching. Please click like, subscribe. Check out some other videos we have on the channel. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Peace out.
Once again, we have brought light into the world. Get over here!